All right, let's continue on for March the 7th of 2011. And if this is the first time at my YouTube video channel, please go to my website, www.bibleprophecyman.com, and take the advantage of my free download for my book, the documentary on Bible prophecy and current events. When you go to my website, you'll see the front and the back cover. Right below it is a link. Click to the link and you can download the book for free today. And everything that is happening around the world today, most of it you're going to find in the book. I keep it up to date as much as possible. And the last book that I put out was in February 9th of 2011, so you can see that it's very current. Now, one of the prophecies that I want to talk about right now, if you download that book, my book here, you can go to chapter 4, The Troubled Earth, and in that I give you the scripture. First of all, I give you the scripture, then I will give you the documentation that shows you what Jesus warned about is actually taking place. Let me read this from Matthew 24, 6 through 8. And ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See that you're not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilence, and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. And that Greek word sorrows is birth pangs. So all these things are the beginning of the birth pangs. And they're going to get a lot worse as the unrighteous world today, the people in it, move towards the 7-year tribulation. Now, we're talking about famines, we're talking about earthquakes, pestilence, which could be diseases, and also pestilence. For example, we saw during Moses when he was taking the Jewish people out of Egypt, how pestilence and insects were used to deliver the Jewish people. Now, keep in mind the prophecies here, because, and keep in mind, this is only one report, but when you get into my book, I give you all of the different events that are taking place around the world, and you'll get a better idea of what's happening as far as the prophecy goes. Now, if you scroll down, once you're at my website, I'm going to put this up. You may not be able to read it too well there, but you'll see it at my website. The title of this article says, Mosquitoes, Locusts, Now Rain Brings Cricket Boom. And if you take a look at this picture here, you'll see that there's millions of these crickets who now have invaded different parts of Australia. It says, first was the locust, and then the floods. Now I'm going to stop right there for a second, because if you go into Luke 21:25, Jesus, another one of the prophecies of the last days, is that you would see the roaring of the seas and the waves. And we know that this is storms, massive storms that would cause flooding, high winds, whether they be cyclones, tornadoes, or whatever. These are the prophecies and the signs that we're supposed to be looking for. So Australia has had locusts, they've had floods, and now it says, now millions of crickets have invaded northern Victoria, shutting down shops and devouring newspapers. It goes on to say the summer's record-breaking wet weather has prompted an insect invasion with a plague of crickets sweeping into the towns. And then it gives 3 different towns here that are, as you can see from the picture, really being inundated by these crickets. It says grasshoppers and spiders are also in abundance, while mosquitoes are posing a health risk as cases of Ross River virus increase more than 5-fold. Remember the verse where it talked about disease? It talked about the pestilence, the droughts, okay? They're all in here, in this one article. Now, let me read you another part of the article here. It says, we've had 10 years of droughts, which is not good for insects, so everyone really is taking advantage of the conditions this year. So what they're saying here is this year, Australia has been inundated by floods. They got massive floods in January of 2011. In February, they got a Category 5 cyclone that was the worst. And they've had to deal with fires, massive droughts, And now these different plagues of locusts, and now the crickets. So as you can see, there's all kinds of signs that are happening in Australia, and all of them are what the warnings are in the scriptures in Matthew. Oh, here's another picture. I'll just put it up there because you can see all these locusts that are on the window there. And again, this is only a little bit about what's happening. But again, if you take a look at my book, you'll get a really good picture of all the different events like this that are taking place. So let's scroll down and continue on with some more Bible prophecy and current events.